Flames fans, welcome to another edition of Flames Unfiltered. We are your hosts, Brad Burud and Kyle Lewis. We got lots to cover this week, Brad.
We do. Like, for a team that's not even close to relevant.
Relevant to us and our listeners, we hope.
There's stuff to talk about. But you know what I want to start with?
I don't, actually. I'm excited.
Yeah, because I don't tell you ever what I want to start with. WHL playoffs. I want to talk about it a little bit here. I follow the Brandon Weekings, a friend of mine's GM there. So I follow, and I have, even before he was GM there, I've followed the Brandon Weekings for quite some time. It's not far from where I live. So they are playing the Calgary Hitmen, ironically. And this series, game one, started, I believe was it Saturday night? Yes, Saturday night. Or was it Friday night? No, it was Friday night. Friday night. Because there was no Flames game, because the Flames played Saturday. Okay, Friday night. This game, I don't know, did you see the score by chance? Or did you hear about it out there?
No, I didn't.
Okay. 0-0 into overtime. They go 3 overtimes. Midway through the third overtime, Calgary scores, wins 1-0.
Wow.
Both goalies had over 55 saves. Brandon's goalie had over 60 saves. Unreal. It was unreal. And it was one of those games, it was one of those where, as much as it was 0-0, it was one of those, it's like, I still got to watch this. It was entertaining, And then Sunday, they have game 2 in Calgary, and it's 6-5 in overtime. Calgary wins. We go 0-0 to 6-5.
Guess they saved that scoring for game 2.
Last night, Calgary went up on Brandon 3-0 in the series, winning 3-2, I believe. Been close games every single one, and just a crazy game.
So, yeah, it's playoff season because, I'm actually wearing my Moncton Wildcats hoodie. Moncton went in against St. John and has won the first 3 games of the series. The last score in St. John last night, 6-0.
Oof.
And game 4 is tonight in St. John. So if Moncton doesn't pull off the sweep, they'll be back at home. I'll be in attendance on Friday night. So, but Moncton, once again, is one of the top teams in the country. So should be fun.
Speaking of top teams in the country, let's go on to NCAA playoffs.
Yes.
And North Dakota is advanced to the Frozen Four, which is really cool for Flames fans because there's 3 prominent prospects, Cole Reshney, Cade Littler, and Abram Wiebe, who all play for the Flames, or all play for the Sioux, or it's not the Sioux anymore. It's the Fighting Hawks, which nobody calls them the Fighting Hawks. It's
why'd they change the name?
Jeez. I'll quickly tell you. Back about 15 years ago, the NCAA started going through all this politically correct terms. The University of North Dakota did not give enough money, or not the University of North. The University of North Dakota's TV rights for college hockey aren't the same as like the Florida State Seminoles.
Right.
So we didn't have the pushing power. We were forced to change ours. Florida State Seminoles was able to keep theirs. The Fighting Irish were able to keep theirs. All these other big name ones were able to keep theirs, but the University of North Dakota Fighting Sioux were not allowed to keep theirs, which in turn caused a lawsuit from the Sioux tribe here against the NCAA, which has been kicked around the courts forever and ever and ever, because one of the Sioux tribes wanted them to keep it. One wasn't offered enough money as bribery, basically. The Sioux tribe that wants them to keep it has been trying to sue the NCAA. It's just been a mess. But if you go to any of their games, you watch any of their games, everybody in the stands has Sioux jerseys on.
Yeah.
It's one of those formality things. But either way, that's neither here nor there. We're over that and we're past that.
It's a wild story. But anyway, go on.
It is. It's what's funny is it's not, what bothers me is it's not about what truly
matters. It's about money.
It came down to money because the University of North Dakota has always used the name and honored the tribe in many different ways. It's been absolutely free for any Native American to go to the school from the beginning of time. Like it's just one of those things. It's just absolutely crazy. It's actually, but
wow.
Interesting.
Okay. So back to all right.
Hockey.
Yes.
So what's interesting about this is the amount of players that so in the game on, was it Thursday? No, Friday. No, the championship game, or not the championship game. The one to go to the Final Four was against Quinnipiac, where we have another prospect.
Mm-hmm.
Wittenbach is on that. North Dakota just pounded them 5-0. They just right out of the gate. Just they didn't really have a chance right out of the gate. But what's interesting about that, it was really fun to see the progression of those prospects. And it was announced, was it yesterday or today, that Wittenbach is going to stay at the NCAA level and play for Quinnipiac again next year.
Yes, I saw that.
Which I think, after watching him, especially, I watched him early on, and I thought he was a lot more prominent. But as you go, you play better teams, right? And this is not a knock on him, and I don't want any of the Flames fans to say this, but if you follow college hockey closely, which I have since 1980, the division that Quinnipiac plays in is not the same level as the NCHC, which is going to have your big schools like Denver, North Dakota, Arizona State, the big guns, right? So I'm not saying his points are inflated or anything like that, but it is a different level, right? And unfortunately, the night against North Dakota for him, and he did struggle, and I think everybody would say that, albeit that was just one game, right? But even in the game before that, he wasn't as prominent of a player on the ice as what we as NHL teams looking at players would want. And I think next year, having him play one more year is going to really help him out tremendously.
Well, it's interesting you say that too, because it's a well-known fact in Canadian junior hockey that the Quebec Maritime League, in which Moncton plays, is a fast, high-scoring league with significantly less physicality as, say, the WHL, which are
very different. They're totally different leagues, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's great because, I mean, you have guys like Gridden that come out of the Quebec Maritime League, with Shawinigan, but high emphasis on speed and skill, but some of those smaller players have a much harder time, I think, making the jump because they're not used to playing against such large competition, right? Or for such physical competition, as it were.
Yep, I agree. So I think, I'm not saying that as a knock on him at all. I think it's
absolutely not.
But it is interesting. What's also interesting with that is when you're looking at the college signings, there's 2 slots still available. I would project Abram Wiebe is going to be one of them, but that will not happen till not this weekend, but the weekend after is the Final Four. The Flames took care of some business and they signed from Cornell, Jonathan Castagna. But that contract doesn't start till next year. I guess he's dealing with an injury. And then today it was announced that they signed Axel Harting, who is a Calgary Hitman player who I've been watching in this series, who's very impressive. But that also will not start till next year. Still leaving one spot, which I predict is not Reshny, but may be wrong.
I haven't really. I was dealing with so much post-deadline stuff around the Flames. I hadn't given that last spot a lot of thought.
Well, I thought it was going to be this. I thought it was going to fall into the Castagna. I thought he was going to take that spot, and Abram Wiebe would take that spot, leaving Reshny to go back. But I don't know with that spot open, and maybe they leave it open. I don't know that.
I'd be surprised if they did, just because the amount of college prospects they have, right? So, I mean, they very well could. Interesting though.
And to follow up on that, I do think another year at University of North Dakota for Reshny would be a good thing for his development. I really do.
Oh, I think so too. I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, and a lot of the guys that are in the developmental system, a lot of the guys have already made the Flames, have taken such big strides in the last 2 weeks, even, despite the fact the games generally don't mean anything. Seeing the strides made by Parek, I mean, Gridden's been our most dynamic forward probably since around the new year.
Gridden's our best player.
Yeah, well,
I should say he's our best young player. That's probably more fair.
Yeah, we'll get into some other guys who aren't so young that are surprisingly good. But yeah, I guess all that to say, it's like, we're seeing these guys that are taking a step, which is crucial, because it would have been really disappointing to go into the offseason without seeing any of that progression, especially as you go into another challenging season next year in all likelihood, right?
Yeah, for sure. And One guy I wanted to touch on too. There was a call up last week as Brennan Othman. How do you say his last name? Is it Othman?
I think it's Othman. Yeah.
Yeah. Was called up and has had 2 games on the 4th line. A former first-round pick of the New York Rangers. I thought he was pretty good in his first game.
Goal and assist, isn't he?
Yeah, I know he scored. He scored against Colorado.
Yeah, he had an assist in the prior game. Yeah.
I thought he looked better in the other game, but nobody looked better in Colorado,
right.
So that's probably not a fair assessment.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's an interesting time to say the least. I'm glad to see him get some reps though, because I mean I didn't think a lot about that acquisition at the trade deadline, but he is a reclamation project of sorts. I mean, anytime you can, again, we've talked about this before, you get somebody who was a first round pick, there's always the hope that you'll see an uptick in their play or the projection.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he was just one of those guys. It was just like, hey, let's take a flyer here. We're giving up. What did they give up? It was a 5th round pick or a 7th round pick for him. I can't remember exactly what
it wasn't much anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, hey, let's just see what happens here. But a team like the Flames can do that right now.
No, it's all we can do, really.
Although I have been happy, and I it's funny because I've been hard on them all year. I have been happy with a little bit of the deployment of lines lately.
Yeah, I have too. I mean, I think Grid and Frost Coronado was, again, apart from the Colorado game where everybody was abysmal, like they've been really dynamic. Mm-hmm. The pairings have been good. The power play configurations have been much better. Even if injuries necessitated it, having Perek and Brstevich playing both regularly has been really nice. So my complaints with coaching have dwindled significantly in recent weeks.
How about this win streak? We go on a win streak.
Oh God!
And like up before the Colorado game, the Flames had got 11 of the 12 points in their last 6 games.
Yep,
that's bonkers. Do you know that if you look at the standings before the Colorado game, I remember looking, and they were 7 points out of a playoff spot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. And also, it's crazy to me too, the timing of all this, right?
They're 7 points out right now.
30th place. Yeah.
No, they're not quite. I think they're better than 30th now. I think they're 20. Let me look.
Well, they were 30th. Yeah, after last. Was it after last
30th
night?
After last night. Yes, you're right. Yeah, they are 30th after the Colorado.
So, what's interesting to me, and I guess we'll jump right into that because there was a lot made of it, but Blake Coleman's comments about anti-tank mantra or whatever it was he said. And I mean, a lot of people reacted pretty strongly to that. I wasn't particularly upset, other than the fact I thought it was kind of dumb because it's like, what exactly are you proving, right? The funny thing is that you and I were set to record on Sunday, and I wasn't feeling the best, so we moved it to tonight. And during that time, now this is really funny. I get home from playing hockey Monday night, and I walk into the basement, turn on the TV, and the Avalanche had just made it 6-0, and I think the shots were 29-7 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh man, I'm so glad that we waited to record because of my dumb ass that we were able, to actually talk post Colorado loss. Because man, that was an emphatic end to Blake Coleman's comments and the supposed anti-tank metric."
Well, I mean, this team. and I'll give them all the credit in the world. That homestand was good. I mean, really, really good. I mean, we're talking they, beat LA 3-2, they lose to Anaheim in overtime, get a point, lose there 3-2, handle Vancouver easily 7-3 in a game that was, it was really fun to watch. Yeah. Minus Adam Klapka thinking he's a tough guy. I'm so done with that.
I mean, that to me was just like,
just play your role, man. Just be your.
Oh, the guys are 6'8" and 6'9", just meant to be a spectacle. That's how I took it.
God, it was stupid.
It didn't even compare to the fight between Igor Shesterkin and Jacob Markstrom.
No, that was a doozy.
Shesterkin was throwing him, man. That was wild.
I thought Markstrom held his own pretty good too.
Yeah, wasn't quite as offensive, but yeah, I was surprised.
I thought he was. It was kind of scary at the end though. I thought he clunked his head on the ice when he went down, but maybe not. I don't know.
Man.
Then Monday night, I get a text. One of my good buddies sends me a picture of the scoreboard. So I'm like texting back. I'm like, Jamie, are you at the game? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm here. He's a big Avalanche fan.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm here. I'm like, well, I said, watch Gridden, watch Wolf. Those are your guys to really pay attention. And then it was like goal, 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 goal. I'm like, holy crap. Like 9-2, a 9 spot. When's the last time that happened? Was it Pittsburgh a couple years ago? Popped in a 9 spot?
Yeah, it was Pittsburgh, and the only one I remember prior to that was when they lost to Boston 9-1 in like 2011, I want to say. Leland Irving was in net.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it was in Boston. It was brutal. But yeah, that was, as much as we can laugh about it, it really, and every team will have an off night. Like the disparity between the Colorado Avalanche and any other team in the league, let alone the Flames, is not that big. Like, but it's still the reality that the Avalanche are an elite team and the Flames are a tire fire with a lot of good young pieces, but a ways away from being competitive. And they got put in their place is what happened. They got slapped around, and maybe they got cocky after Coleman's comments. I don't know.
Isn't it funny though? We watch them play against Vancouver, and then they come out that bad. I mean, Colorado is a great hockey team, and Vancouver is not a good hockey team. But we're not 7-2 better than Vancouver. I wouldn't think.
No, and you know what's funny? My buddy Matt called me today, and he has a Canucks season ticket holder, and he was bitching about the phrase like ethical versus unethical tank. And I don't think either one of us are too clear on what it means, because at the end of the day, like, say what you want about the Canucks, but they are a garbage team. So I don't really know how anybody could sit there and say like, oh, they're not tanking ethically. It's like, no, they're just really, really bad.
You know what though? One of the things that I think the difference is, and how I'm with you. It's hard to decipher between that, but Calgary works their ass off 90% of the time, where Vancouver looked like they could have given their give a shit meter was like on an all-time low that night. And when Calgary got their second or third goal, it was like, all right, boys, pack it in. We're done for the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do want to send out a thank you to the Vancouver Canucks, and it brings us to our X Factor. As Flames fan, God, I can't even read here today.
Do you want me to read it for you?
Yeah, why don't you read this for me, since I can see here today? My glass.
FlamesFanBR with the at CGY Flames_BR. Thanks, #Canucks and Lindholm. They gave us Gridden, Brew, and why not Frostby too? Not to mention 1 year of the funniest player on the planet, and it's awesome. Freeze frame of Kuzmenko doing his ha 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 thing.
When you think about that trade, and when I saw this, I'm like, oh, that's got to be the X Factor. Because, I mean, the fact that not even so much, like, we didn't get stuck signing Lindholm to that bizarrely huge contract that would be like a nightmare for us right now. That's probably the biggest thing. And then, Brustevich was almost like I traded like a throw-in, and I feel like he's been so impactful this year. And I look at him as like the Rasmus Anderson replacement. And I know some people think I'm crazy when I say that, but I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
And then you give us Gridden, who is our most dynamic young player at 19 years old. It's crazy. It's crazy how that worked out.
It could go down as the best trade in Flames history.
Yeah.
Could. Now, mind you, it's going to be really hard to ever top Mika Kiprasov. That's like number one with a bullet in my mind. But depending on, what Brustevich turns into along with the other guys, and Gridden as well, like just such a, like, that shootout goal that he scored. Like, made me think of the Queen song, Flick of the Wrist.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you even do that? Like,
and it's that elite, right?
Oh, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. Anyway, great X Factor. And it's funny that the X Factors are starting to reflect our own states of mind, right? Because it's like, we know we're done. We don't really have anything to talk about in terms of like a playoff race or any trades upcoming. Like, this is the stage that we're at. So, we just will enjoy it.
Yeah.
Learn to live with it, maybe is a better phrase. But anyway.
I saw another news clip that's worthy of talking about. Remember Adam Rosiska? Of
course. Cocaine Adam. How could I forget him?
Yeah. You see he's been kicked off his KHL team too.
No.
He had an outburst. According to this report, he had an outburst and walked out before a March 10th game. He later apologized, and the team said, screw your apology, you're terminated.
Wow. And he had that heater that he went on that was referenced maybe a week ago by one of the Flames. Just one of the fan sites maybe, or another podcast, I forget. But he had he put up 10 points in 11 games 1 year for Calgary, and he just disappeared. But that's I mean, listen, based on what happened with him in Calgary and what you just told me, I mean, obviously the guy has some issues, so God bless him. Hopefully he sorts them out. But yeah, wow, what a mess.
He's kind of been coming up roses on a few things. We got rid of him, and we got
was that his nickname, Rosie?
Yeah, I did not need to say that. As soon as I said that, I was just like, oh, geez.
Happy accident. Happy accident.
But, you look at who we've gotten back in trades this year, even with Maatta and Strome. I mean, Strome's got 10 points in 13 games, 4 goals, 6 assists. And in 13 games, only Maatta's got 10 points, and he's supposed to be a stay-at-home defenseman that didn't put up points. What the hell?
No, what he's supposed to be is a fucking throw-in.
For sure.
It was a salary dump, and he's been unbelievable.
I mean, Ryan Strome was a placeholder.
Yeah.
Because we needed a center. And Maatta was a cap dump, and they've been very, very good and not lucky good either. They've been solid players.
Well, they're both guys that needed to change the scenery desperately. It's amazing to me. I always use real life analogy, and I can't think of one for this because it's Ole Maatta was so far down the Utah depth chart that it's
he was healthy scratch most of the time.
Yeah, and then for him to come in, I mean, if he come into Calgary and had put up 4 points and was a +5, wow, he's playing well. But have 10 points, it scored some nice goals too. It's just and some lucky ones too, I suppose. But wild. And as far as Strome goes, I expected him to have a little uptuck in play, have a lot more opportunity, 10 times the opportunity he had in Anaheim, but Maatta is just blowing my mind.
Yeah.
So good times.
It's crazy. Speaking of, okay, this is another thing that's kind of got me aggravated this week. Connor Zary's still out, right? And I mean, the hit's completely been forgotten by the league, and it's this guy's still out. I did hear that both him and Kuznetsov are scheduled to play tomorrow in Vegas. So that's interesting.
It is. Yeah, Kuznetsov has been out for a while.
Yes, he has.
So who do we cheer for in that game?
Well, it's a good question.
Because Vegas is not at all what they thought they'd be right now.
We want Vegas to keep losing.
Well, that's what I mean, but we don't want the Flames to keep winning. Or to start winning again, I should say.
Good point.
I guess what we don't want is a 3-point game.
We don't want a 3-point game. We want to lose straight up. Because we need to get lower. One spot. We're not beating Vancouver out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, not a chance. Our team is much, much better than Vancouver's. Much better.
Joel Hanley's gone for the year since we last talked.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sam Honzik is back on the ice skating. That's going to be good news for next year. So he'll be having a whole year on the off season to be able to train appropriately. So that's good.
Doing the compulsory, can't wait to get back next year media tour that one does when he's back on the ice. And
Speaking of Vegas here, and past players, since that's kind of been a theme today, Rasmus Anderson. What happens to Rasmus Anderson? Is he John Klingberg of 5 years ago?
That's pretty hurtful, don't you think?
I'm throwing it out there.
You know what? What I don't get, or what I struggle the most with, is the guy was having a phenomenal season in Calgary, and then he gets traded to a contender. Now, but you see that sometimes, right? A guy has all the success in the world, where there's no competition for his job. Not that there's a ton in Vegas in the blue line. They might have a much better blue line than Calgary does, of course, but it's he goes into a situation where you'd think he would flourish, but it's maybe it's because he's not the guy that he just doesn't do a whole lot.
I don't know. It's been weird though, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, since he got traded, I didn't pay too much attention. I saw his first goal as a night when they got dummied by Ottawa.
He scored the other night again. I saw on a really nice play. He did the stare down too. I'm like, yeah, we passed that.
No, I don't think he'll ever go away now. But it really couldn't have worked out better for Calgary, because it's you think Anderson would have boosted Vegas in the stretch run. It hasn't done that at all. So between our other picks and that Vegas pick, it could turn out quite nicely.
They're in the final spot in the Pacific right now with 82 points. The Mammoth have 82 points. Kings have 76. I mean, this is a weird playoff year.
Like Canada won't be too represented, that's for sure.
Not at all. Canada teams suck.
Montreal, but I mean, I worry about their grit and their goaltending in the playoff series.
Where do they sit now? They sit in third in the Atlantic, 96 points. Buffalo is the top. They got 100 points. I love it. They're my team.
Did you say 96 for Montreal?
Yes. Montreal currently sits at 96 points. They're third in the Atlantic. God. Tampa Bay has 98.
The West is so weak. It's wild.
Think about that. It's crazy. Look at this. The first team out of the playoffs. The first team out of the playoffs in the East is the Ottawa Senators with 86 points. 86 points puts you in second place, 1 point out of first in the Pacific.
Wow. That's embarrassing.
It's mind-blowing, like when you think about it. But the race is like, okay, so it's crazy. Like it goes all the way down to Washington and still has a chance to get in there, 3 points back. So there's, 5 teams fighting there for that final spot. In the West, it goes all the way down to St. Louis with 73 points, who's been on a heater lately. They're 6-2-2 in their last 10. Nashville sits in that final wild card with 77 points. So 4 points back for St. Louis, which leaves the Kraken in the middle, Sharks in the middle with 2 points back. Winnipeg, who is left for dead at the Olympic break, is 1 point out of a playoff spot. Same as LA.
No, they're not. Are they?
They're 1 point out of a playoff spot. They're literally 1 point out. They're at 76 points with 74 games played. And the last wild card is Nashville with 77 points with 74 games played. They are 1 point out of a playoff spot.
How does that make any sense? My God, I thought Winnipeg was like truly dead. They're 32-30.
Mm-hmm.
32-30-12.
They're 6-2-2 in their last 10, and they've actually given away a couple points in this last 10 games.
So realistically, wow.
I mean, is this not just bizarre as can be?
It's pretty damn bizarre.
I don't ever remember a race that included this many teams. And in the East, it's like they're fighting for it. They're winning to get in. And in the West, it's just like, well, who can lose the most here? That's what it's.
Well, in the West, you can write off. I mean, Vancouver is eliminated, of course, but Chicago, Calgary, and St. Louis, Seattle. I don't see them manage this weekend.
I don't either, but I don't know anymore.
Man, that's crazy. Just crazy. What a bunch of tomfoolery that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wait, where the hell have I been? How'd Winnipeg sneak up that much? Anyway, it's all good.
It's been quiet. I mean, they've been clicking away, win a game here, get some points here. And
yeah, I got a lot going on. So
it's funny though. Like I thought, and we talked about this earlier in the year. Like when Calgary was dead, we thought, man, this is going to be hard. What's there going to be enough to talk about? But there's actually been a lot going on and a lot to talk about. Whether it's been new prospects, the play of Parak or Brestevich, or how Gridden's doing, who's not doing well. Like there has been a lot of talk.
Well, and the other thing that's going on too, and I just saw this because I always mention this, the guy on the calendar this month for April is Joel Farabee. Oh. Farabee and Frost, and I'll talk about do they stay or do they go, because they've been really, really important players for the team this year, especially the new year.
Farabee's been all year. Farabee's been very, very important. I feel like, and as the last probably 10 games, I think Frost has really had a good uptick. And I want to say he's shown consistency yet, because we still have time to prove that or disprove that. But he's been more consistent, and that's a wonderful sign.
Absolutely, yeah, big difference in his play.
What do you think of Dustin Wolf and Cooley lately?
It's hard to fault them, but neither one's been great. That's for damn sure. Did you watch Cooley on After Hours?
Outside of the Colorado game, I think they've both been really good.
Yeah, but I don't find that one's been spectacular of late compared to the other. But did you see Cooley on After Hours?
Yeah.
It was amazing.
He's a great guy. I mean, it's exactly what I expected it to be, though, right?
Oh yeah, I just wish there was more interviews in hockey like that because they're so damn boring.
You know, I mean, he's a quirky guy. I think if Dustin Wolf loosened up and talked, I mean, I think he'd probably be an entertaining talk to. I think Blake Coleman would be an entertaining talk. I'd love to ask him a couple questions, you know?
Yep. Oh yeah, I mean everybody can be, but he's on a different planet, man.
Cooley is a different duck, man.
Yeah. And I mean I still think the guy could, it's funny because I often bemoan this kind of thing, but I think the guy could fetch a decent trade return, but I don't want to trade him because I just like him so much.
No, there's no reason to trade him. We have a tandem now that we all love and we feel comfortable with, and quite honestly, that return's not going to repay what they're doing, because during this rebuild and even into the coming years, I mean, that can grow into a pretty solid tandem if need, you know, if everything keeps on its track, you know. But boy, how quickly we forget. Remember how the talk was coming into the season after preseason, how miserable Cooley was and how worried we all were, because I was part of that.
We didn't have a backup goalie. I'd like to actually somebody to ask Craig Conroy, why did you decide to go with Cooley? Because neither one earned that job.
No, they battled to see who was crappier. Nobody asked that question. I would love to ask Conroy that question.
Right?
Be a good one.
Indeed. So what else we got on the go? What else we going to talk about? We covered a lot of ground.
We did cover quickly. We covered a lot of ground. We only have 8 games left.
Oh, thank God.
Is it? Well, you know, yeah, thank God if you're thinking of the Colorado game, but quite honestly, the games leading up to that were really entertaining and really, really fun hockey to watch, even though the most of us were sitting there going, what are we doing? We're trying to not tank, but we're trying to lose. And like, this team's actually better now than we were before we traded off all our guys at deadline. And I don't know. It just seems bizarre, doesn't it?
It does. And I guess it's kind of frustrating because it's like, yeah, you see the young guys playing well and the team, you know, building some confidence. But again, like, it doesn't matter. It's not like you're going to carry that through to the beginning of next season. I mean, I know some people believe that you will. And I mean, certain players will have developed that they'll contribute more, but it's a long off season. Like, I don't get too invested in it, I guess, and I want to be negative about it. And I feel more recently like you and I have kind of traded roles that way, but yeah. It's just, you know, I'm looking forward to playoff hockey, which unfortunately won't be a part of, and I'm looking forward to the draft because that's going to be such a fun day to be a Flames fan.
Well, the draft lottery night's going to be, mark that on your calendar, because that's going to be a stressful night.
What day is that again? You know,
right May 5th, I believe.
I'm in Quebec that day. I'll be leaving whatever meeting I'm at to go make sure I can see that.
It is. Let me just be sure so all our listeners know it's not May 5th. It's May 4th.
All right. Well, I'm still in Quebec, so.
And, yeah, that's going to be a night we're all going to be glued to the TV sets and really seeing what's going to happen here. And I'm not so sure. Oh, and by the way, going back to college hockey, Gavin McKenna had a quick exit with Penn State. So, which is weird because he'd be playing for another month up in Canada if he was in juniors.
I know, it is strange, eh? Well, presumably it would be, yeah.
Yeah.
That
whole NCAA thing is bizarre to say the least, and I don't like it, but I think it's probably I have a hard time seeing him go back on it now. So it's going to be interesting. It's throwing the junior hockey world upside down, and I don't know if it's throwing it upside down in a good way, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't really think that it is, but anyway.
What other insight do you have for me? How did we fly through this so quick tonight?
I don't know. Maybe it's because the season's winding down and just like everything is just such a formality as you know, as Flames fans at this point. But a lot of good April Fool's jokes, though. You see the one about the arena? I
did see that.
Got to move 3 feet to the left. I'm going to tell you about April. This is not hockey related. I'll tell you about an April Fool's joke that happened to yours truly today. So
I got a good one for you too, actually.
All right, perfect. So I was in a meeting with my boss and our CPA, and as I was leaving the meeting, our owner just walked out, and I got a text from one of our most valuable employees saying he was resigning.
Oh, okay.
And there's been a bit of tension here and there, as there often is, and when you work with people closely.
Yep.
So it wasn't like unthinkable, But it scared the ever living shit out of me because I'm the sales manager and I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? Like, what do I do? What do I do? And it was in the date in it because he copy and pasted somebody else's text was actually in March, but I just went like black out, like
you don't even see that. Yep.
Panic mode. And I called him. I'm like, is this an April Fool's joke? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, no, tell me, is this actually an April Fool's joke? He's like, yeah, it is. I'm like, man, you're such an asshole. And actually, while we were recording, my phone flashed and he was called to apologize because, he nearly killed me from stress today. What a dick move. And now I can't wait for him to hear this. So thanks, Mark. Thanks for making my day, you idiot.
So here's something that happened to me at work. And this is bonkers. I take care of the store in my hometown, but I also take care of a couple other stores. One of which I've had a manager in place for 21 years, and he's a great guy and he's got a good crew, but they decided one day to play a joke on one of their employees, and they parked his car inside of another warehouse of ours, which isn't a big deal. The fun was going to be that he walked out that night, saw that his car wasn't there. He was going to panic, think his car was stolen. They were going to laugh, say, ha ha, take him over to the other warehouse. Only during that day, they all proceeded to forget that they put his car in the warehouse and went home. He decides to stay later that night, leaves work. His car is not there. So what would you do when your car's gone? You call the police department.
Mm-hmm.
Files a stolen car report. They take all his information. He calls his girlfriend. He gets a ride home. The next day, he shows up for work, walks in the front door, and the guys are like, what are you doing coming in that door? You aren't park out back? He's like, I can't park out back. Someone stole my car. And all of their faces went completely white because they stole his car and forgot to tell him. In which they then had to call the police department and tell them that the car actually wasn't stolen. It was taken by his fellow workers.
Wow.
The police laughed very, very hard at that one, by the way. Wow.
Frig. I hate this. I hate this day because I'm not clever enough to come up with a good prank myself. I just worry about the consequences immediately, which evidently my coworker doesn't do. But
I'm such an old grouch that I get pissy when people would play with jokes like that with me. And I shouldn't say I'm that bad, but I hate this day because I can't even turn social media on. I can't even look at my hockey news because I don't know what the hell to believe and what not to believe. And I feel like I'm going to get tricked and then talk about something on the podcast that's a bad April Fool's joke.
Well, I thought about playing one on you or with you. Oh. I had such a long day and have the energy to do it. So
with my week, Kyle, I probably would have just crashed right there.
Yeah, would have been over. GG.
Hey, I do want to bring this up though. Your Hockey for Heroes is getting closer and closer and closer as we go. And I think it's time that everybody gets on and supports you. You're $850 on the way to $5,000, and there'll be links put out again on social media this week, or you can go to FlamesUnfiltered.com, click the donate button, and help Kyle out as he every year works to raise funds for the Heart and Stroke Foundation. And it's a great weekend. I know you enjoyed a ton, but it's more importantly a great cause that everybody can help out. So if you can, please help Kyle and donate.
Yeah, much appreciated.
So
yeah, I've started my prep. Had electrolysis done on my left hip yesterday. Been stretching more. Been drinking more in preparation. No, it really is a great cause, and it's often the case that there'll be like a windfall at the beginning of support and donations and whatnot. It'll cool off a bit, and then it kind of picks up again this time of year. So looking forward to a lot of support, and there'll be tons of photos and lots of other memories to be shared from that weekend.
For sure. Flames, I had this week in Vegas Thursday night, and then in Anaheim on Saturday. And then we will record again and start another week as we are getting down to, after that, there'll be just 6 games remaining for this hockey team.
Wild. Man.
It's crazy, isn't it?
We had freezing rain last night. The roads were just a sheet of ice, and it's supposed to be spring. I was with a friend of mine on Sunday. We had a freaking great day. Like a great day, just, took the dog for a walk.
Oh, yeah.
Drank a little too much, whatever, but it felt like spring was here.
Yep.
And then there it was, gone.
We're supposed to get just south of us. We're supposed to get 8 inches of snow tonight. I don't know. Put that into the Canadian terms. What is that? 8 inches.
8 inches would be, well, I gotta like look at something of reference point. Yeah, 15 centimeters, 15, 20, somewhere in there.
Not good. That's just south of us, though. So hopefully it doesn't hit me.
You know, it's funny actually that you say that, because the only way I ever think metric is when it comes to snow. Everything else that I do in my brain is standard because I'm in construction, right? Like I get Canadian government drawings and it's all in millimeters and I can't read it.
So yeah, you like when you're at work. I know we're really getting off the Flames topic, but you figure everything in feet, inches, right?
Have to.
Yeah, everything in construction. I mean, everything is.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when I was like 6, 7 years old in grade school, and they'd be like, "In 5 years, we're going to be on the metric system."
Yeah,
that was like 40 years ago.
Yeah, the same idiots that later said you won't have a calculator in your pocket every day, so you learn how to do math.
Yeah, and
now you have to friggin' spell. My boss said that to me. Was it a week ago? I was trying to write like an email, but like a tense situation, and he's like, "I'll use ChatGPT." I'm like, "I'm never using ChatGPT. I spent like $100,000 on my education. I'll write it myself." God, anyway,
it is crazy the world we're living in.
Slightly,
yeah. Well, let's enjoy some Flames games this weekend and enjoy junior hockey playoffs. And we're coming back next week, right?
Do we have to? Yes, we're like, yeah.
We don't, but we probably should.
Oh, absolutely. We're not to win it, bud.
Sorry. All right, we're back next week, folks.
We're gonna retire when the Flames win the Stanley Cup. So we'll be with you for a while.
Then we'll actually have something fun to celebrate. We're not quitting then. Damn it.
If we do that, we're getting wasted on the podcast.
We definitely will.
Live. Yeah.
All right, Flames fans, have a great week, and we'll be back next week.
See you guys. Take care.
It's me, myself, and how this gonna be fixed in my mind. Still on the record. I turned on the music. I still on the record. I turned on the music. It's an uphill battle that you're sometimes losing. Hell been on the days that we're lost.
Thanks for listening to Flames Unfiltered with Brad Burud and Kyle Lewis. Your source for unfiltered Calgary Flames hockey talk. Keep it locked on FlamesUnfiltered.ca. Subscribe where you get all your podcasts to never miss an episode. Flames hockey talk every week, presented by Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.